Jesus LeBlanc. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 14 of the Northern Block Pod. It is Sunday, August 4th, 2024. I'm your host here, Nord, who is an objective Flyers fan. I'm joined here with the Wildcard Sens fan here, who just burped up a storm. LeBlanc, how we doing today, Mr. James?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I had set some tortellini, so it's just coming up now.
All right, that's fair enough. It is yet again another off-season podcast episode, so a lot of the stuff we talk about is very premature, and there's not a lot of news to really discuss. If there is news, we'll obviously talk about it, but this should be a fun episode. We got a lot planned here. We got a few things that I found on Twitter. We have our top 25 NHL-affiliated prospects list. No goalies included. I'm really looking forward to revealing this list to you guys live on the pod. And then we have our Metropolitan team draft at the end. We did Atlantic last time. Got a lot of happy comments, and people loved our list. It was perfect. But regardless, we should have a fun episode here for you guys today. So we're going to start off with the first graphic here that I found on my Twitter. This comes from NHL Network. It says, which team has the best chance to make the playoffs in the 2024-2025 season? Listed are the Buffalo Sabres, the Ottawa Senators, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Detroit Red Wings. So the ironic thing is, both of me and LeBlanc's favorite teams are on here. So how we're going to do this, LeBlanc, is we're going to rank it 4-1. So 4 is the team that we think has the worst chance, and 1 is the best chance. So I posted mine on TikTok like today. You may have seen it, you may not have, but I want to hear LeBlanc. So take me through your list here.
4, I'm going to go with Buffalo.
Okay. I believe that.
And then, 3 I'm going to say 3. I'm actually going to say the Flyers.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
2, Red Wings, and call me a homer all you want. I think it's the Ottawa Senators. You look at it, comes down to goaltending for me. And
you have my exact same list. I just have 1 and 2 swapped. Like, okay, so I'll go through mine. Buffalo, I just don't feel like they're ready. Like, I feel like there's still a lot of young guys in the system, and they didn't do a ton to really get veteran presence, improve the team necessarily. So I think they probably fall out again. Will they be close? Yes. I'm not saying they will be like miles out like the Canadians were, but like I honestly think that Buffalo could come close. They're just not a playoff team. 3, I do have the Flyers, which is my favorite team. I kind of think that they are, you look at their lineup, like NHL posted their lineup a couple days ago, they look like a sleeper playoff team. I can't lie. Like, I don't know if LeBlanc saw those lineups. I think there is I don't think they make the playoffs, but like if, let's say a team falls out and none of the teams on this list really pan out the way we think they will, then I think Philly could sneak in. But honestly, I don't think they come close. Number 2, I do have the Senators. Even though LeBlanc has them 1, I think that they're just so unpredictable. I have no idea what to expect from them this year. I think they'll be a little bit better, but I definitely think the goaltending will help. And then number 1's Detroit. I understand people don't like their goaltending, people don't like their defense, but they were literally just there this past year with very shaky goaltending as it was. So it's possible they get in, but again, what do we know?
I think Buffalo had a very disappointing offseason. You talk about a team that had money that could go out and make a move. Buffalo did make the move.
Well, then again, Buffalo really did regress this past year, so I feel like they could be a little bit better this next season.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say it, like bringing back Lindy Ruff, was that really the right move? We'll see, obviously, but I just don't think that's a very Don Granato was not a good coach. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Is Lindy Ruff an upgrade? I think I just from the start, I think Lindy Ruff was brought into Buffalo to get fans back in the building. He's a face they know. He's a face from the older regime. Now,
the last time they made the playoffs, he was the coach.
Here's the thing: Philly, Detroit, Ottawa. I think that's gonna be so close. That is see my fingers. Yeah. That's how close they are.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's a massive gap between those teams. I think it's honestly razor thin between all 3 of them. Again, as I said, Philly, I think, is kind of a sleeper playoff team with their roster. I'm not saying they will make it, but I think they're a sleeper. Ottawa, again, got a goalie. They made some good moves in their defense in their bottom 6. Detroit, again, they were right in it last year.
But I think Detroit lost some of its depth, especially defensively and in the bottom 6. Goaltending, Cam Talbot is a slight upgrade. It's not like astronomical upgrade. Like
Yeah, obviously.
and Cam Talbot's 37, 38, turning 30. I think
He's an old boy.
He's and you never know when the guys in their mid to late 30s are gonna they fall off like that. Like you never know when it's gonna happen. It just happens.
Now, granted, they didn't have a lot of goalie options as it was.
No.
When free agency came along, obviously, I do think they were in on Ullmark, but obviously your team got them instead of Detroit. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I want to say they're going to get back into it, but there's also people that think they'll be a bottom 10 team next year. I really don't know what to think. I think they'll definitely be in it. I don't know. My opinion changes from day to day, so yeah. I don't know if you got anything more to add.
I just think Ottawa really did improve. I think they brought in Travis Green, who wasn't my first choice to coach the team, but he's a lot. I'll take him over DJ Smith. I'll take him over. Bring in a guy who's going to hold players accountable. You bring in you literally fixed the entire bottom six. The bottom six has been really gutted. You're going to have younger guys coming up like Clevin, Halliday, Cruikshank, Opsichuk, are going to get more of a chance. I feel like the goaltending was the biggest issue last year because for Pasalo was just, and you say, oh, well, defense was bad. Actually, statistically, the defense was actually decent. This Corpusalo led, I think it was like 35 times he let in the first goal on the first or second shot.
Yeah, that's actually a wild stat.
I know. And,
I've never seen a stat like that before.
Yeah, I think it's really close between all these teams, but I feel like I'm going to go who's going to be the backstop, and I think the best backstop here is Ottawa's.
Right. Okay. I don't entirely disagree with that. I think that it's definitely an argument to have either of those teams at that first slot. Moving on now, NHL Network's giving us a lot of content. They've been blessing us. Next up, we have which team is closest to winning the Stanley Cup. And the teams pictured are the New York Rangers, the Edmonton Oilers, the Dallas Stars, and the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, this is something that I already talked about on my TikTok, so I'm going to let LeBlanc discuss what his list would be 4-1.
We're still doing 1-4? All right.
Yes, 1-4. Or 4-1, actually.
All right, number 4, I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes. I think they lost a lot during the offseason. The forward depth, the defense depth, goaltending's good, but they've lost a lot of pieces. Like you look at, remember they were going to trade Natchez. They lost so much they had to bring back Natchez.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, they made some signings that does help them out in the longer term because I think Walker and Gostisbehere are good ads, but they definitely got worse. Yeah. I think they're 4 on this list.
Yeah, they're banking on a youth movement. I know they have a lot of young guys coming into the lineup next season or the season after. So
yeah,
that's going to.
Bradley Nadeau is supposed to come up this coming year. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be exciting.
Number 3, I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars. They've made some ads that to me are kind of questionable. I still think they're going to be a finalist in the West next year. They're still a very strong team, but defensively, some very questionable ads. They got the goalie in Jake Andre, who I will say, Andre needs to be better next year. Andre had a pretty shaky year.
Absolutely.
And then,
yeah, he was injured at points too. That's the other thing.
Number 2, I'm going to put the Rangers. I feel like the Rangers and Edmonton are close, but I think Edmonton just won the offseason, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, obviously. And they were just in the Stanley Cup Finals. Like you can't not put them at number 1.
Yeah,
honestly.
But if you put a goalie on Edmonton, I think that's going to be a Stanley Cup winner. I like Stuart Skinner. I would rather have Igor.
Well,
yeah,
obviously, absolutely. Yeah. So my list is I have Hurricanes at 4. Again, as you said, they lost a lot, all that. I actually have the Rangers at 3. I just I can't see that team winning. Like even this past year, their big guys just did not show up in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I just cannot see them facilitating. I can't see them doing it. 2, I have Dallas. Even though I do think their moves are questionable, they still have a young and exciting team. Obviously, Ottinger's got to be better. And number 1 is the Oilers. They were just in the Stanley Cup Finals. They made almost no bad moves besides the Stan Bowman thing in the offseason. I think that, honestly, this team is in a really good spot to win the Stanley Cup next season. And honestly, I wouldn't rule that out. So that's my list. But again, I think just like the other list, it's kind of razor close. with those three teams in the top three. So, yeah. Any more to add, LeBlanc?
Not really. I think I've said my spiel. So,
alrighty. So I got a few more things here that we can talk about before we move on. We have a one has to go from Sportsnet, and it's throwback jerseys. So I'm excited for this one. We got the Florida Panthers. I guess that's their like old Screaming Panther home from like the late 90s.
Yeah,
the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim jersey, that's the purple and the green. The Buffa Slug, the old like, black and white Buffa Slug.
It's the goat head. Goat head, and it's not the Buffa Slug.
The goat head, not the Buffa Slug, my bad. And then the Screaming Eagle from the Washington Capitals. So, I don't know, LeBlanc, I gotta let you say this first.
Listen, this is a tough decision. I'm a fan of most of these jerseys, but I'm going to probably get some heat for this. I would take out the Ducks jersey.
Wow. Why?
I don't like the colors on the jersey. I never have.
Not a fan of the eggplant?
Not a fan of the eggplant and like green color. I really do enjoy their new color scheme.
The orange counter,
yeah. If I had to like pick a different one, I'd probably go with. I take out probably the buffalo, probably the goat head. Because the goat head's cool because buffalo, even though like the animal of the buffalo has nothing to do with the city of Buffalo, which is
obviously. If I had to do this. Well, like, it's weird because, like, I own half these jerseys. That's the crazy part. Or I own, like, new renditions of these jerseys. I'm going to take out the Panthers from the 90s. I love that jersey, but I love the Mighty Ducks. I know you may not like them. I love the goat head. And the Screaming Eagle is one of my favorite jerseys ever. So I have to remove the Panthers one, unfortunately. Now, if you really can't tell, like, what we're like picturing here, I would just Google 1996 Florida Panthers jerseys because I believe those were the jerseys, right?
The Panthers one is actually my favorite on here.
Oh wow!
So,
damn, sorry, that's quite unfortunate.
It's still a tough decision. Like I like all these jerseys.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to have all these jerseys in my collection, obviously. All right, next up here, this one comes from Elite Prospects, and this should actually be a pretty fun list, I'm not going to lie. So, we're going to rank the last 8 second overall picks in the past 8 NHL drafts. So, if you're wondering who those players are, they are Nolan Patrick, Andrei Svechnikov, Kaapo Kakko, Quinton Byfield, Matty Beniers, Simone Nemec, Leo Carlson, and Artem Levshunov. So, yes, we are including Levshunov, who has not played any NHL games yet. So, I'll go to LeBlanc first. LeBlanc, I guess we can, like, take turns, go, like, 8-8, 7-7.
Yeah, I'm just writing this down so I don't forget the order. Just give me... All right, yeah, we're good.
All right, I'll let you go first. Who is your number 8 on this list?
My number 8 is Nolan Patrick.
Okay, I think that's obvious. Patrick barely played at all. Nolan Patrick is also my number 8 on this list. Again, the guy it's not his fault entirely. The guy went through a lot of injury problems and just never panned out to what he was going to be. It sucks, but it is what it is. And number 7, LeBlanc, who we got?
Kaapo Kakko.
Oof. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Kakko as well. I think, honestly, like, he hasn't really lived up to the potential of a second overall pick, even though some of these other guys have been in the league for less time than him and have already been better than him. So I think you got to go Kakko at 7. All right, number 6.
I am going with Simone Nemec.
Really? This is where I stray away. I'm gonna go with Levshunov because I think like I don't want to put Levshunov in the top 5 because he hasn't played any NHL games.
I mean, that's fair, but you have to... I just look at who, like... He's going to be an NHLer. Like, I think he's, like, the safest pick.
Obviously.
He was the safest pick in the draft.
Yeah, obviously. Well, besides number 1. But, yes, I think that is a fair argument. Number 5?
Artem Levshunov.
Okay. I'm actually going to go with Nemec at 5. So that works out perfectly. All right, number 4?
Number 4, I have Leo Carlson.
Okay, I think that's fair. Carlson's played one NHL season. He's looked pretty good in that season, but I think you gotta go. I think you gotta go Leo at 4. So I'm also putting Leo at 4 on that list. Number 3 into the top 3 here.
I'm going to take Quinn Byfield.
So who's left for me? It's Byfield, Svechnikov, Beniers. I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go Byfield as well. I don't know. Like I think you could argue Beniers. I guess. I think we might have the same top 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 2.
Matty Beniers.
Yep. Yep. So that means number 1 for both of us is Andrei Svechnikov. So yeah, I mean like that Beniers. I think that this list could obviously change in a couple of years. Like I think Byfield could move up past Beniers if he has another really good season. But again, Beniers is I think he's one of the front runners for a big back or breakout season. So that's the biggest thing that I see with Beniers, obviously. But Svechnikov, I think, is by far the best second overall pick on this list. That might change in a couple of seasons when Beniers or Byfield get fully adjusted, but I think that it's very, very clearly Andrei Svechnikov at numero 1. So we want to move into our prospects list, or do you want to do news?
Let's go with let's do the news.
Okay, all right. News around the league. Thank you for watching. I mean, again, I've said that in pretty much every podcast this offseason. There really hasn't been a lot, apart from a couple of signings around the NHL. We'll start off with, I can't remember the last time we made an episode. I think we made did we talk about the Brock Faber deal, or was that this past week?
That was this past week.
Okay, so I don't think we talked about it, but I guess we'll go into it again. Brock Faber signed an 8-year, $8.5 million contract that will begin in 2025-2026. He is coming off of a rookie season, putting up 47 points with the Minnesota Wild, and was a Calder finalist. I don't know about you, LeBlanc, but I love this deal.
I think it's a little much to give. After one decent year, you give him the bag. I think that's a little...
Well, you know what this guy's going to be, though.
I know what he's going to be, but, like, I just think maybe... Like, it's a lot of money.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's
I just
fair.
feel like other guys who got paid, like, I know I've always said, but you look at, like, Quinn Hughes, who signed recently, makes less money than him.
I guess that's true. I think the way they're trying to approach it is they want to get all these guys signed to lesser money deals. Like Matt Boldy's on a great contract, and obviously they're in cap hell. And by the time this deal kicks in, they will be out of cap hell.
Hell's over, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest thing that they're thinking about there. I like the deal. I think it's a great deal for Faber. I think it's actually the perfect contract. It's not an overpay. It's not an underpay. I think Faber, even if he hasn't already, will grow into this deal, and I think that he had a really good year, not only offensively but defensively with the Wild too. Did we talk about Kirill Marchenko? Hang on a second.
Yeah,
Let me go.
I feel like we did.
Okay. I know we talked about Ken Johnson. Let me go look at when we posted our episode so I know what the hell we talked about.
I feel like we talked about Marchenko. We probably talked about Faber in that episode, too.
No, Faber was signed on Monday that day, I believe.
Right.
Marty Necas also signed as well, a 2-year, $6.5 million contract. Again, as we said earlier on in this episode, the Hurricanes, obviously, they lost so much that they couldn't get Necas, or they couldn't trade away Necas. They had to bring him back. I think it's a decent deal. It might be a little bit of an overpay with LeBlanc. Where do you stand on this? Guy had a down year. He dropped off by like 30 points.
Yeah, he had a pretty significant drop off.
I think he can get back to that.
He can get back if he can get back to form. That contract's going to be great. It is a really short term deal, which means, and I say this with
walked him right to UFA.
I think that's the reason he signed it. I feel like he doesn't want to be in Carolina. I think we've seen the reports. This is a deal to walk him or to get him dealt potentially at the deadline in the offseason.
It wouldn't surprise me if they flip him either next year's trade deadline or the following year. Mm-hmm. If they get a trade that's like too good to refuse, I feel like they could flip him.
Yeah,
100%. In other Hurricanes news, they also are going to retire Eric Stahl's number 12 as he signs a one-day contract to retire a Hurricane. I always liked Eric Stahl. He was there for their Stanley Cup in 2006. I think that's a great deal. Best wishes to him in retirement.
Yeah.
The Montreal Canadiens made some signings, and LeBlanc, I want to get your thoughts on them since you're a Wildcard Sens fan. Arbor Xhekaj has signed a 2-year, $1.3 million contract. I think it's all right. I think it's fair enough.
I'm blunt. It's probably now the worst contract in the league. Just kidding.
The worst it's a $1 million deal.
That's $1 million too many, but
they could probably just bury. Actually, I feel like if he got put on waivers, I feel like someone would claim him.
I don't know. I analytically, like I think I said before, analytically, Jack Guy's the worst defenseman in the league. He's big and he hits. That's it. His defense is very subpar. I guess it's a 1-year deal, 2-year deal,
2-year deal.
Yeah, like is it one way or is it 2-way?
It doesn't say, so I'm assuming it's one way.
So I just don't like he's there. He's a depth defenseman. He's not gonna. It's not a game changing.
Yeah, like, obviously,
it's a contract. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I agree. Justin Barron. Justin Barron. Jesus, I made that mistake last night on Chell. Because I got Barron in my franchise mode, and I'm like, I said it to LeBlanc. He's like, Justin Braun? Yeah. All right. Justin Barron signed a 2-year, $1.15 million deal. I think Barron's a serviceable.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's. Like
I think it's a good.
It's a depth defenseman contract.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal. Caden Gooley signed a 6-year, $5.55 million deal. I will say this, even though that does look like a little bit of an overpay, I think that he'll grow into that contract, and I honestly think that I think this puts the Canadiens in a pretty good spot cap-wise. I don't know what LeBlanc.
I like Caden Gooley. I think Caden Gooley's a good defenseman. I think they gave him like a Colin White style contract. If you don't remember the Colin White contract at the time, very very heavily criticized. He will grow into that contract, or he'll get the Colin White treatment and get bought out halfway through the contract. But I think it's a fine contract for Gooley. Like I think it's a fine contract.
I think it's a good enough deal. All right, moving into the other signings, Ryan Lindgren signed a 1-year, $4.5 million deal with the New York Rangers. I like this deal. I think Lindgren's a great defensive defenseman, laid his body on the line in a lot of the games this year for the Rangers. He's actually one of my favorite guys in the league, so I'm a fan of this deal.
So I'm going to say, what is we doing? Like, what are we doing? The Rangers now have $12.5 million in cap signed in Trouba and Lindgren.
A lot of that's Trouba.
I know, but the statement still puts you're spending $12.5 million on your first pairing. Second pairing, but
I guess that's fair.
I think it's a bit of an overpay. A little bit of an I'm not saying it's egregious, but it's a bit of an overpay.
I guess you could argue a little bit of an overpay. But I'm a fan of Lindgren.
He's a good defenseman, but like. If you're worth $4.5 million, I tend to disagree with that, but
yeah, I don't know. Moving into a few other kind of minor deals here, but they're still worth talking about. Dustin Wolf signed a 2-year, $850K deal with the Calgary Flames. If this guy becomes the starter over Vladar, this could look like literally the best contract in the league.
It's a 2-year deal at $800,000. Not even giving the dude a milli.
Exactly.
This could be the best contract in the league.
Yeah, not going to lie.
Short-term contract in the league. Let me just rephrase that.
Obviously. Jordan Spence signed a 2-year, $1.5 million deal with the Kings. Spence, a serviceable defenseman. I like Spence a lot, actually. I remember when he first debuted in the league. I think he's a good defenseman if he can make that Kings lineup, because he has been in and out of it the last couple of seasons.
He's Dylan's
what's that?
He's Dylan's favorite Kings defenseman, other than Brad Clark.
Yeah. Entry-level deals that were signed. Igor Chernyshov signed an ELC with the Sharks. Ben Danford signed an ELC with the Leafs. And then this is a weird story. This is our last thing here that we'll wrap up. Jeff Merrick got released from Sportsnet a few weeks ago, and it was really sudden. There was really nothing that really came out on it. And it seemed really weird. My theory was that the draft was in Vegas. He got a little tipsy, did something a little bit too stupid, and that's why I thought he got released. But no, it wasn't that. it appeared that he was leaking draft picks before they were officially announced to a friend, was investigated by the NHL in Vegas, and then was released by Sportsnet. This is a little bit strange.
This is
because Merrick, listen, this happens a lot in sports. It's the biggest thing. Like people who have connections, they will get people to, who find out things before, because obviously Merrick and the insiders and obviously the people who run the teams and stuff, they find out, let's say, like a minute or two before, everyone else, because obviously they can make graphics and release things on the team. That's what this was, and Merrick was kind of giving it to this guy who was tweeting it out so he could say it before everyone else, I guess. And it's something that has happened before. It's just weird that he got fired because of it. What do you think of this? I don't think I've ever asked you.
This is the most hypocritical thing the NHL could do. You look at Frank Saravalli leaking a whole expansion draft before it gets announced.
Well, the biggest thing with that is that
thing. No, I know it's not the same thing, but if he's just telling a friend and he has to tweet it, have the tweet ready before it gets announced, I don't see what the harm is in that. Like,
it's really harmless. I think the main thing of it is because of it was in Vegas. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If it was anywhere else, I don't think it would have been, because of the gambling. That's the biggest thing, because people thought that he was going to tell someone and they were going to put a shitload of money on it.
Yeah, but it's it's hard to.
It all seems strange to me.
How to put a shitload of money on something like a minute out before it's going to happen?
You can't. You also, like, what's the limit? Like, I can't gamble. I'm 17. Like, it's like what? Like
as much money as you want on something.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the limit.
If I want to put,
there was a limit.
If I want to put $500,000 on a Leafs first round exit, I can do that.
Okay, but I guess you could. Well, I feel like if you did it so suddenly, right at the draft, I think there would be questions.
As it gets closer, the odds for that go up. Will go down.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say when this, like, if Jeff Merrick tweeted me that they were going to draft Carter Yakubchuk, and then
first off, he's jumping into the river.
Like,
but as he's jumping into the river, he's putting 5,000 on it.
But when they're going to announce the pick, it either closes right before when they get on the pick, or stuff. So I don't think it's a gambling thing. I don't know what it is at all. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I don't get it. I think it's very soft penalty, very very harsh penalty for something just so minor.
And it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Like Jeff Merrick's a great guy. You would think that, like, with something coming out like this, you see all this negative stuff surrounding Merrick. There hasn't been any of that. Like, this guy is so loved by the community. 32 Thoughts, the podcast, is a great podcast. His hockey knowledge is honestly unmatched from a lot of people in Sportsnet. And me and LeBlanc have had conversations about people on Sportsnet that aren't particularly that knowledgeable, obviously. We won't go into names. Jennifer, no. But regardless, Merrick is one of those guys who doesn't follow that criteria. He has great hockey knowledge and is a great person. So it honestly sucks that this happened the way it did. I'm not going to lie to you. So. Yeah. All right. That's all the news I got, unless you saw something else that was of importance.
Not really.
Do you want to do our prospect list now?
You know what? Let's do it. We're going to get flamed regardless. Let's just get into it right now.
All right, so should we start off with the criteria for this?
Yeah.
It was 25 games
25 games. If you play more than 25 games, you're not on the list. So guys like Simone Edvinsson are not
That's the biggest name that I think is not going to be on this list that we might get flack for. But Edvinsson, I think, played like 26, 27 games this past year.
And if you're over 25, you're not on the list. If you're over 25, you're not a prospect anymore. It's been 7 years. Let it go.
I also want to say, if Edvinsson was on this list, he would be like...
He'd be high. He'd be pretty high on the list. He would be
very high on the list. I just want to preface that for Red Wings fans who may not be... who may be mad at us.
Start roasting us, yeah.
Yeah. Honorable mentions. LeBlanc, you want to mention some of them here?
I had them written down, and I've lost the paper. I will not lie to you.
Easton Cowan, Toronto Maple Leafs. Dalibor Dvorsky.
Beckett Seneca.
Yeah, Seneca, Hellenius,
Carter Yakubchuk.
Lane
and
Hudson.
Lane Hudson, and that's probably going to rub some Hat fans the wrong way. Because
way to go, Wildcard Sens fan here. If you know, you know. We'll
I
bring
think Lane
it
Hudson's a great prospect. I just don't think he is a top 25 prospect in the league.
I don't. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't particularly think he's top 25 either. All right, let's get into it here. So number 25. Who's 25, LeBlanc?
We got Zane Perrick from the Calgary Flames, currently playing for Saginaw. Zane Perrick is what I call a forward that plays defense.
He was the best offensive defenseman of the draft.
Yeah.
I think he was in the OHL.
With Saginaw, yeah.
So he was the best defenseman he was the best offensive defenseman in the OHL. I think this guy's going to be a stud. I don't see the insane hype around him.
I've seen. Oh my God, he's the next Cale McCarley. Let's take it down now.
He's also not the best defenseman in the draft. Like I'm pretty sure we have Dickinson, Buyam, Levshunov, and a lot of other defensemen ranked above.
Spoil the list.
Sorry, I'm just saying they are on this list and they are above Perrick.
Yeah, so. I don't have him as the best defenseman in the draft. I don't have him as the best defenseman.
I think he's good.
Obviously,
I'm not saying that he's not good.
He's going to be good. Yeah. Oh, another honorable mention we forgot to mention is Rutger McGroarty.
Yes, that's another guy. We actually changed him last second for Brad Lambert of the Winnipeg Jets, who is number 24 on our list. LeBlanc, where does Lambert play these days? Is he in Manitoba with the Moose?
He's with the Moose right now.
Okay, so I think Lambert, probably the best prospect on the Winnipeg Jets, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. I think he's terrific. I think he's actually, honestly, if we made an underrated list of prospects, he's probably
on
top 10 on that list for sure. I think that he is a star-studded forward who will do good things for the Jets for sure. Number 23, who is on 23 on our list here?
Anton Silyev, or Silayev, however you say his name.
Silayev. For the New Jersey Devils, this is the 6'7" guy who was drafted 10th overall this past year. He is a god defensively, and the man is also tall as hell, as I said. Not as tall as that 6'11" guy from Penn State, but he is tall. Thoughts on Silyev?
I think you put it out there. Defensively, he's him defensively.
Yes.
I think he can establish an offensive game that will translate to the NHL level. I feel like he has the highest ceiling, one of the highest ceilings of any of the defensive prospects.
Absolutely.
And I think his skating, though, for a guy that big, is insane. He's a really good skater. You watch the highlights.
He played in the KHL this whole year, didn't he? That's... And we talk about Michkov and Demidov, them playing in the juniors and Michkov getting loaned to places. No, Silyev played in the KHL the entire year. So I think that speaks volume of how good of a defenseman this guy's going to be when he gets to the NHL. Number 22. We got another, underrated guy here on this list. Who is it, Mr. James?
Jimmy Snuggerud, or Snuggerud. I don't know how to say these names. From the Blues.
From St. Louis. He played in the Minnesota Big Ten.
I
think Snuggerud
Minnesota Big Ten.
Or Minnesota Gophers in the Big Ten. My apologies. It's been a long day. I think Snuggerud might be the most underrated prospect.
There's a guy out there who I think is more underrated, but we'll get to that after.
Right. Well, yeah. It says Snuggerud may be the closest to being NHL ready amongst the Blues prospect pool. He's a sharpshooter who falls into the mold of what St. Louis had with Vladimir Tarasenko. So he is going to be exciting. Number 21 is Jonathan Lecker-Mackey of the Vancouver Canucks. I think, again, this is another underrated prospect that people really... I don't know if it's people haven't talked about him or it's because he really hasn't, obviously it's been a while since he's been drafted.
I was really high on him coming out of the draft. I feel like he played a similar game to Tim Stützle, I find.
Yeah. I think he's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I think that he also is playing in the Swedish leagues against pros, so I think that also adds a factor in there. Or is he? I'm not 100% sure, actually. I probably shouldn't speak on something that I don't know.
He's a grown man.
He's an old boy, obviously. All right, let me Let me look that up. LeBlanc, go to number 20 here real quick.
20 is they broke my heart. They broke my heart. It's TJ Ginla. I don't want to say
TJ Ginla from the Utah Hockey Club. This guy really rose in draft rankings this past year. He wasn't expected to go. Well, I guess you could have ranked him that high, but he wasn't like at the beginning of the season. He wasn't like expected to be
a late first in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So, just to follow back here on Lecker Mackey, he did play in the SHL. He also went to the American Hockey League for a little bit, and he did play internationally in the World Juniors and had 15 points in 12 games. So, hell of a player. But Ginla, obviously, I think, has a lot of potential, and I think playing on a very young Utah team in the future could make him really exciting. Number 19.
They got another guy, Berkeley Cadden from the Seattle Kraken.
Very undersized. That's the biggest thing you look at when you see Ken. He's a little bit of a small guy. I think that he honestly is a very exciting prospect. He did really good on a very bad
Spokane team.
Yeah, a bad Spokane team. So I think that speaks volume for what Berkeley Cadden's going to be. Number 18, LeBlanc is not as high on this guy. I had to talk him into putting him on this list.
I think he's underrated. That's the guy I was referring to. I think he's a little underrated. People don't really talk about him in specs, but the point totals are there. It's Joakim Kemmel from Nashville.
From the Nashville Predators.
He fell in the draft year. Like, he really fell.
He dropped to 17th overall in 2022. He probably would have. Wait, was he?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Got the top 10 pick.
Yes. So he fell a lot in his rankings. The fact that he fell to Nashville was honestly kind of a steal. He put up great numbers in Milwaukee in their run to the conference finals this past year in the AHL. I think Kemmel's very underrated. I think that he's going to be a superstar. Maybe he's not. Maybe you could put him a little bit lower, but I'm very high on Kemmel. Number 17. From the Buffalo Sabres, we got Yuri Kulich. Again, another guy that I think that is probably the best prospect in Buffalo's pool, besides Hellenius. Actually, no, Hellenius is ranked lower than him, so obviously he's better. That's a dumb take by me. Kulich roared out of the gates in the AHL, putting up 16 goals in 23 AHL games this past year, showcasing a more mature game in the second best league in North America. I think Kulich is going to be a really good player, and I think that people don't talk about him as much, but definitely, yeah. All right, number 16 is
Axel Sandin Pellikka from the Detroit
Red Wings. So he's very similar to Seider in a way. He plays on the same team that Seider did. That's just what I mean. Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's going to be Seider. I'm saying that he's following the same path as Seider did. He played on the same team that Seider did in juniors. I think that he is going to be incredibly exciting to watch down the stretch.
I was going to say, like, he plays nothing like Seider, then you I don't
I meant he's following the same path as Seider. I'm not saying that he's
offensive defenseman. He's pretty good. He's again, he's a little undersized, but he's good at his craft.
He's going to fit well with Edmondson. That's going to be really exciting to watch. Number 15, and this is a guy that might shock some people, him being this high, but number 15 is
Shane Wright.
Yes, people are not going to like this. This was a guy that he dropped in the draft. He was I remember for years he was a first overall pick, or he was projected to be. Yeah. The guy drops to 4. So, yeah, he really kind of dropped off, and it showed that he was going to take a little bit longer to develop than usual, but in his first 2 years with Coachella Valley, they make the Calder Cup finals in both seasons. I think Wright has terrific potential still, and I think people still underrate him from even the, dropping in the draft. So
when he was with Seattle this year, he didn't look terrible. He looked pretty good.
No, he didn't. And I think he's a guy that when we do this next year, he won't be on the list because he came up this past year. I think he played 8 games and had 4 goals.
I do want to mention that Dan Bowles was the new coach of Seattle. He was coaching the Firebirds. So exactly. So I think Wright's going to get a shot with the team.
I think Wright is going to make the team. He's one of the guys that I'm confident will make this roster, and it makes that rookie race all the more exciting. All right, number 14, we got another guy from this past year's draft.
Caden Lindstrom, Columbus Blue Jackets.
This is an interesting one. LeBlanc, I'm going to let you take the lead in this.
Oh boy, big! Like he's
one of the bigger forwards. He's like a really
big six. I think he's 6'4", 6'5". He's
exciting.
He's a big center.
Yes.
Yeah, like you talk about. The only issue, like he is prone to injury, as a lot of bigger centers are, but when he's healthy, he's gonna be your best player on the ice.
Yes, I am 100% on board with that. Number 13, we're almost into the top 10 here, is a guy that I wanted so badly on my team, Sam Dickinson, from the San Jose Sharks. I think that he's going to be a great defenseman. He might be apart from I think maybe like Levshunov and a few other guys on this list. That's a spoiler. Dickinson might be one of if not the most NHL ready defenseman.
Yeah, I was going to say he's probably going to get a shot with the San Jose Sharks this year.
I don't necessarily think that.
I don't know the right move, but he can be ready. That's how.
Yes, he looked great with
London.
With London. Him and Oliver Bonk were just terrific to watch. Who is not on this list, by the way, but I love Bonk. Honorable mention to Bonk because I just love Bonk. Ottawa native Oliver Bonk.
Yeah.
Number 12, we got a Rangers prospect here now.
I wanted this guy higher, but we came to a consensus on the number 12. It is Gabe Perreault.
Yeah, I like Perreault a lot. I think Perreault, I don't know. Like, I think Perreault definitely, he dropped past a lot of teams. He dropped to 23rd in 2023. He is a steal at 23 overall. He was a guy that should have gone way higher. I think that he's going to be really exciting for the Rangers. I'm not sure when he will come to the team, though. I'm expecting maybe next season or the following year. It says that he is the top offensive force amongst blue shirt prospect. His father also came in at 5'11", but Yannick was 185 pounds and played 14 NHL seasons. The younger Perreault has tremendous hockey IQ and skill. He is a little bit undersized, though. That's the biggest thing that you do have to keep in mind with Perreault. All right, number 11. LeBlanc, who is it?
Zeev Buium.
Of the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, that's one I think that's going to also get us a lot into trouble, because I feel like Zeev Buium, everywhere I've seen, is in the top 10 of prospects. I like Zeev Buium, but I think he's getting a little bit glazed.
I love Buium. Buium, I wanted Buium so bad. And we had to witness this in our draft when Philly, when Buium was available, traded their pick to Minnesota. And I remember LeBlanc's words, "Briere's on the phone," and I'm just like, "No, get off the phone now." Yeah. So Buium, I think it's going to be very exciting. Is there a little bit of glaze behind him? Sure, but I think that he is definitely. I think you could argue him in the top 10.
You can argue him for sure. Just for our that was the most yelling stream we've ever had.
Yeah, I have done drafts. I have done the last 5 drafts. I've live streamed the last 5. That was the craziest one we've done.
Yeah,
except for maybe 2023, like the picks like 4 to 7 were pretty insane. Number 10, moving into the top 10 here, we got another defenseman from this past year's draft. I think it's the final. Oh, never mind. No, it's not. It's not the final player from this past year's draft. It is.
It's Artem Levshunov.
Yes, it is, from the Chicago Blackhawks. Levshunov, the best defenseman from that draft class. I think he is the 4th or 5th best defenseman ranked on that list.
I'm just going to count them. 1, 2. Yeah, we have two defensemen above him.
Okay, so he is the third best defenseman on this list. Levshunov brings a lot of great assets to his game. Is he coming to the NHL right away?
He signed his ELC, so he's not going back to state. So
okay,
so he might get a chance with the big club. Honestly, they probably need it. Like,
they probably do give him a chance. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That decor on Chicago is brutal.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if he earns that spot. He could see himself down with Rockford. Number 9, we got a Washington Capitals prospect here.
Ryan.
I think he's actually a little bit underrated. It's Ryan Leonard.
Ryan Leonard, yeah.
From the Washington Capitals. I'm excited to see this guy play.
He's mean.
He is. There were talks that he might come over to the Capitals, but he's actually staying with. Where does he play?
I think he plays in BC. I think. I'm not 100% on that though.
I think he's BC, or he's one of the Boston colleges. But Leonard, he said in a thing, or he said in like a conference or something, that he wanted to play for the Capitals, but after that loss that he suffered in college, he couldn't just leave the guys like that. So he's going to play one more year in college, and then he's going to come to the Washington Capitals, I would assume. So Leonard, we probably will see a little bit of him at the end of next season.
Yeah, he plays.
But okay, so we may see a little bit of him at the end of next season. But Leonard, I think, is very exciting. Number 8 on this list is
Cutter Gauthier.
Cutter Gauthier of the Anaheim Ducks.
Formerly of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Don't remind me. So Cutter, I think, I could say a lot of things that I don't like Cutter, and I'm not gonna say that. I think Cutter is a terrific prospect. There were points where he was ranked the second best prospect in the world. I do think that there are a lot of guys that have fallen off. Or I think there are a lot of guys that have gotten better since Cutter. He's kind of fallen off a little bit in his rankings, but I still think he's going to be a terrific player. And he will play for the Ducks this coming year.
Yes.
Because he did get time this past year. He played one game, but I think he will be on the team next season.
Now, Evan, I'm going to ask you this real quick. If you get tickets to the Ducks-Flyers game...
It's happening. It's happening.
Are you going to boo?
I am going to boo that guy to hell. Listen, I will come on here and praise Cutter. I will say good things about Cutter as a player, but when it comes to the point where you're going into that Philly arena and you see a guy who left your team who was projected to be one, like him and Mitchkov would have been a dream. It would have been such a dream, and now I can only do it in franchise mode. But if that guy comes in there and I'm gonna boo him. Like, it's just in Philly culture. I'm gonna boo him. I don't hate him to the degree that a lot of Flyers fans do, because part of me does wish that we kept him. But obviously, I'm gonna boo him.
Okay.
Number 7 here on the list is Logan Stankoven from the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
I think he just barely got into our criteria.
Yeah,
I think
he played 24 games, I think it was. Yeah.
Yes, so he barely
He will not
here.
be on the list next year, for sure.
No, absolutely not. So I would say him and Cutter won't be. Stankoven was exciting this past year for Dallas. Even in the playoffs, he looked good too, because he did play some playoff games. I think that he's going to be special. He's going to be a really special player. And we didn't put him into the honorable mentions, but shout out to Maverick Bourque as well. I don't think he's a 25 prospect. He might not be a 30 guy either, but I definitely think he's still.
There's so many good prospects. Like, it's so hard to make. Like,
yeah, we could do like a top 30. We'll probably even separately. Like, I know I'm going to make my own. LeBlanc's made his own before. So I think that it's a fun thing to do, and I love Stankoven. So yeah, number 6 is as you said, Dylan's favorite defenseman,
and Nepean native Brandt Clark.
Yeah, so I think didn't Brandt Clark get some time this year?
Brandt Clark played about, I think it was 10 games.
Let me take a look at that real quick.
I know he had a game winner in Boston, overtime winner in Boston this year.
That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, I think that he's kind of been a little bit forgotten because he took a little bit longer to get to the NHL, and like a lot of guys from his draft class. Like, I think when you look at the class year overall, there's a lot of guys who are not from 2021. Like, I think the oldest one in here might honestly be Brandt Clark. Like, I'm looking at a lot of these guys. I think a lot of these guys.
Isn't Cutter 21?
Cutter's 22.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Clark played 60. Oh, Clark played exactly 25 games. So he barely scrapes into this list. So Brandt Clark at number 6, great defenseman. I think that he is going to be spectacular with the Kings in a full year. He is another guy that will not be on this list next year. Mm-hmm. Like, he plays his first game, he's gone. Number 4 on this list, or number 5.
Number 5.
Top 5 here, it is from the San Jose Sharks. It is Will Smith.
Yes.
And not the guy who slapped Chris Rock. I think that he is going to be great. This is when you get into the best of the best, the really exciting guys. I am a huge fan of Will Smith. I don't know where you stand on that.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Fresh Prince too, and
Oh
Will Smith's got the intangibles. He's gonna be great. Like I can't really like he's an all around guy, all around player.
yeah.
And there's not a world where I see, and I will make this claim right now, as a little LeBlanc guarantee, where he's not gonna be a top 6 player in the NHL.
Exactly. I am there for that. I think all these guys will be top players in the NHL when they get there. Number 4. All right, this is where we're gonna get a lot of comments, more specifically from LeBlanc. Just say it.
Ivan Demidov, Montreal Canadiens.
Montreal Canadiens, yes.
If you're throwing your phone, banging on the wall, take it on Twitter. I don't want to deal with it right now.
If you're driving in a car listening to this, please
pull over.
Stop driving. Pull over. Okay. Yes, Demidov. I'll let LeBlanc go first. What are your thoughts?
Ivan Demidov is a special player. He's going to be. I think he's going to be over in Russia next year. He should get KHL time next year. He should. Yeah.
If he doesn't make the team, there's a decent chance he might come over.
Demidov's going to be a great player for the Habs. He's not the piece they're missing. Like he's not like this generational talent, but he's going to be an elite player. He's going to be an 80 to 95 point guy in his prime. I don't have much bad things to say about Demidov. It's a great pick by the Habs, but there's 3 players that I think are going to be better than him.
You could argue Demidov a little bit higher. You could argue him at 3. When we say our guys at 3, and people are going to think that I took part in this list because I am a Philadelphia Flyers fan. It's been the Michkov-Demidov debate. I am just so sick of talking about it. I had Habs fans tag me on Twitter today about things about a Flyers fan saying that Demidov's better than Michkov. I just don't care anymore. Like literally, like it's an argument. And again, Michkov is higher on this list. Ooh, big spoiler. But like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the argument that you can make that Demidov's better than Michkov. Oh, he's better defensively. It's better this, better that. Demidov played against kids, and Michkov played against adults. And the argument that you say that Kotkaniemi's better than McDavid, and the one Habs fan that tweeted that at me, that's literally the stupidest argument you could ever make.
Well,
because
I'm not gonna say it on here, but yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. Number 3 is
Alexander Nikishin, Carolina Hurricanes defenseman.
Yeah, defenseman. He also played in the KHL this past year. I think he's honestly really underrated. I think that he definitely gets more recognition than he used to.
Yeah, now he gets more recognition.
He's still underrated, in my opinion. I think that he's a great defenseman. He's probably the best defenseman prospect.
Is he coming over this year?
God, we just asked ourselves the same question. I'm not 100% sure. I am going to say no, because I haven't seen any reports that say yes, he will be. Mm-hmm. But he could be. I mean, I don't know. Let me look at this book real quick. This book is funny because it's from the Hockey News. It projects when prospects will be ready for the NHL. It says that he's ready 25-26. I don't know if that's really
not coming over.
Probably not, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is. Number 2 from the Philadelphia Flyers, Matvei Michkov. Yeah. Michkov is a generational talent.
Borderline generational talent.
Borderline generational talent. I think that he is going to do a ton for the Flyers. He's an amazing player. I'm not getting into the argument here.
Shots. Number 1. I'll say it. Shots insane. Skating's insane. He's quick with it. I think Demidov is good. In the future, Demidov's going to be like a 45-goal scorer.
Mm-hmm. You said Demidov. You mean Michkov?
Michkov. I'm sorry. See, that's how much we're getting into this argument. Michkov's going to score 45 in the future. That's not. That's not a LeBlanc guarantee, though. That's.
Yeah, not a LeBlanc James guarantee. Don't go to your gambling site and play.
Don't be going. Oh, you lost me money, LeBlanc James.
Yeah. Again, I'm just gonna say it really quick. I'm just so tired of talking about the Michkov to Meedoff argument. Listen, we can argue about it all day. None of these guys have played NHL games. I think that it's pointless to argue about it now. When these guys get into the league,
Sure, then we'll have a conversation.
yeah, we can definitely debate over it. But right now, I think it's kind of just a guessing game. Like honestly, you can say certain things, but all right. Anywho, number 1, the best prospect in the league goes to
from the San Jose Sharks, Matt Celebrity.
I thought you were going to go a different direction there. Stephen Halliday from the Ottawa Senators. Macklin Celebrini, I think... I've seen people make the argument that Michkov's better. As a Flyers fan, I'm not going to go down that road. I think Celebrini's better. I think Celebrini's better all around. I think if we're talking pure goal scoring, Michkov's better. But, like, obviously Celebrini, I think, is going to be... He's going to be...
Two-way game, insane.
He's going to be probably the next... I don't know if he's the next best two-way player, but he's going to be one of...
He's going to be a good two-way player.
He's going to be a great two-way player. So that is our top 25 prospect list. This will be posted on our Instagram at NordBlockPod.
Feel free to yell at us there, because...
Yeah, don't be yelling at us through your phone. It'll be posted on Twitter, too, which I think will get a lot of people going. Are we ready to draft our Metro team?
I am ready to draft the Metro team.
Alrighty, so the rules for this Metro team are the same as our Atlantic team. We can't have more than 5 players from each team. We can't have more than 5 players from one team. We have to have 1 player from each team, meaning we have to have a guy from Columbus, we got to have a guy from Pittsburgh, etc. We are doing 4 lines, extra forward, 7 defensemen, and 3 goaltenders. Yes. So this should be a fun
Evan,
list.
I went first last draft. I want to have you have the first pick this draft.
Already, I'm going to get us started here with our center. I am going to go with Sidney Crosby.
You know what? I can't knock that pick at all. Sid is Sid. Like I don't
Sid the Kid. I think he's still. I mean, like I don't know. I can't particularly think of any centers that are better than him in the Metro right now.
I could think of maybe one, but we'll get in it.
Maybe one.
But I know what? Actually, I'm gonna draft him next as our second line center spot. I'm gonna take Jack Hughes.
I don't know if he's better than Crosby
now, but like he's
maybe right now. I don't know. I think it's close.
Jack Hughes, second line center. I don't hate that.
I think that's a fair argument for Jack Hughes. And no, Luke Hughes will not be on this list. All right, let me think of a good because I honestly think the center depth from this division is really good. I don't want to go a center though. I want to start.
You want to put some wingers on the wing.
Yeah, let's get some wingers on the list here. Let me do some looking around here. I don't know if I'm forgetting someone. I'm gonna put him here. Give me Jesper Bratt at the left wing slot.
Ooh, that's.
I think again we're gonna make changes. I'm probably not thinking of someone who should be on this list, but I'm gonna start off with Bratt. So we got 2 Devils players already.
Oh my God, their winger depth is horrible. Where the hell is the wingers on this list? Give me Ovechkin.
Ooh, okay. So Ovechkin's a left wing. So he'll go on the same side of Bratt.
Bratt's a right wing, right?
Oh, is he?
I don't know.
It said left wing and right wing.
Whoever says we'll do that. Here, how about that?
Okay. All right,
There's another right winger that I want to put on the list, but we'll see if you take him first, though.
Let me do some looking here.
We'll move some guys around after, but like
yeah, obviously we'll move some guys around. I feel like I'm like forgetting a team. Like I'm looking at every team's list. This is kind of difficult. You know what? I kind of doing this on the fly. Give me Matt Barzal.
Okay. Yeah, that's not the guy I was going to take, but yeah, that's
All right, so we got.
And now I'm going to take the guy who you should have took, Artemi Panarin.
He's a right wing?
Yes.
It said he's a left wing on here.
I'm pretty sure he's a right wing.
All right, okay, all right. So I'm immediately gonna just change this and move Panarin up to the number one right wing. I think that's fair.
He's a left wing.
Or he's a left
He's a left
wing.
wing.
Are you for real, bro?
It
Oh my
says he's a
god.
left wing, so we can move Panarin to the first left wing then.
Okay. All right. First line left wing is Panarin. That already makes our left wing slot loaded.
Yeah, we need.
Oh man, the right wing depth is so bad. I'm gonna go with the center though. I'm taking Sebastian Aho.
That was gonna be my next pick. Which honestly, you could argue Aho should be above Hughes.
That is definitely an argument. I think when we did our top centers, did we have Aho? I think
Someone had Aho higher. Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll keep it now. We'll debate it at the end.
Yeah. All right, you're up here.
I am up.
Try and find some actually good right wingers.
Do we have no right wingers? Like
No, we have Barzal. Barzal's a right winger.
Brad's a right wing.
Brad's a right wing. Does it say?
Yeah, it says
Okay.
that.
All right, lot of fumbles here on this list. All right, so we'll move Brat to the right wing side. Okay.
All right.
I think you're up.
Right? I am gonna say this. Like the Devils fans say, give me fuel, give me fire, give me Timo fucking Meyer.
Oh my god. I have never heard that before. Is that really something the Devils say?
Yes!
Is Meyer a left wing or a right wing?
He is a left wing. I thought he was a right wing. I do apologize for my...
LeBlanc.
So wait, no.
All
so
right.
we gotta move Brat over. So, because Barzal's a right wing, Brat's a right wing.
Okay, so that makes our left wing slot Panarin, Ovechkin, Meyer.
Yeah, so Brat's on the other side.
All right, hang on a second. All right, if we're going off a daily face-off, I don't know why the hell we haven't picked him yet. Give me Travis Konechny for the right wing slot.
There we go.
Okay, so that makes us our first three forward lines. I feel like we're forgetting someone really crucial.
I feel like we're forgetting someone important, and we're probably gonna pay for it at the end.
Yeah, we are probably.
Ooh, I'm thinking.
So what we have Islanders, we have Devils, Capitals, Penguins, Flyers. We're missing.
Left wing. Ooh, he's there, but I don't think I want to take him. That's the thing. Ooh, this is actually so much tougher to do. Like in.
Why is the Metro so much harder?
Yeah, because
the Atlantic was like way easier. What the hell?
Oh, do I take him? Oh my god. Fuck it, I'm taking him. Johnny Gaudreau.
Okay, he's a left wing, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Gaudreau at our fourth line for now. So fourth line center. Well, I actually don't need a center specifically. Give me.
I got a center, but.
All right, hang on a second. Oh, he's a left wing. God damn it! Oh, give me Seth Jarvis.
There
what am I doing?
There we go.
Oh my god! If I would have forgotten him, man. Yeah, give me Jarvis in the right wing.
We would have heard. Goddamn, like
we would have been toasted. Looks even Cooper's giving us a hard time.
Yeah.
Jesus.
At the center spot, I'm gonna go with. Ooh, this might be a tough take, Evgeny Malkin.
Ooh. We missed. All right.
Feel like we're getting somebody big.
I think we should work together for this extra forward.
Okay, so the extra forward. I'm just gonna throw some names out there.
There's Zibanejad. Zibanejad is on the list.
I got you. I raised you Svechnikov and Natchez.
Okay.
And then
there's Zibanejad.
Columbus. You can argue. Do you want to argue Michkov?
No.
I figured not.
I don't think that's fair. I'm not gonna.
I figured not.
I think in a couple of years, sure, but not.
Devils. I really don't see a forward. Wait, Heischer.
What do you think? We're gonna miss someone like important here.
Honestly, I think I want to take out Malkin for Heischer.
Yeah, let's do
Just
it.
take out Malkin for Heischer. I think that's a fair trade-off. And then the extra forward. How would you feel about... Okay, we have Zibanejad, Bo Horvat.
I guess Owen Tippett.
Trocheck.
Oh. Trocheck. Well, that... Oh, my God. Trocheck or Zibanejad?
I think Trocheck.
Okay, all right. We'll go with Trocheck. What is he, a center or right wing?
The center, so...
Like
the center depth's insane in this division, but the winger depth is...
I feel like we're forgetting someone like insanely.
We are, and I'm just double checking. The only players I'm going to throw on the wing are we got Lafreniere.
Okay, so what would we change for our lineup? I think we should move Jarvis up.
So I think you move Jarvis to the... Honestly, I think you put him first or second line.
What, we had Brad above... We had Brat first line, right?
We had Brat, Barzell, Konechny, Jarvis.
I think you got to go... I think Konechny might be fourth line. I'm not going to lie to you. Like... I think I would go Jarvis, Brat. I think it's between Jarvis and Brat for that first line. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Jarvis.
Okay, so Jarvis, Brat. I would go Barzell and then Konechny. Actually, I don't know.
This is so hard.
What are you standing on this? They're not even like it's not even like that great of a wing side either.
I do want to say the Atlantic Division looking pretty better right now. I'm not gonna lie.
The Atlantic list is looking perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Barzell.
Right. Well, yeah. All right, let's go focus on the defense. You want me to start for defense?
Yeah, you get going with
right, wait. Are we missing any teams?
Hang on a second. Let me do a count here. So we got Rangers. We got Penguins, we got Canes, we got Caps, we got Devils, we have Flyers, we have Columbus. We might actually have every team.
You're missing one. It's 7.
Are we?
Who are we missing?
I don't believe we are.
All right, then don't. I'm just gonna put him out there. I am going to say for the defenseman slot on the left defense. It says he's left defense on this. Zakharensky.
Ooh, wow. I don't particularly know if he's our number one. Let's see what we got here first.
Like I said, we'll just fix it as we go.
Right side D, Adam Fox.
Perfect. I think you could drop another perfect. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go with. Going to go with another right side D and Noah Dobson.
All right. I'm just doing a count here, making sure we have every team. Yes, we do have every team.
Okay.
So that's absolutely perfect. All right, so Dobson's right side,
yes.
Right? Okay. So that does put our Islander count up to 2. Hang on a second. Let me do... I think there's a couple defensemen that I think we do need to include in this.
Yes.
The first one, I'm just going to get him out of the way. I'm going to say Dougie Hamilton, even with the season he had.
Is he a right side or a left side?
He's a right side.
Ooh, means I can't draft the guy I want to draft.
That's unfortunate.
But I could
you better go look for a left shot D there, bud.
I could put him in.
Oh wait, is he right D? No, he's not. Okay, thank God.
I could put him in the extra spot though.
Okay.
Eric Carlson.
I got my lefty.
Eric Carlson. I'm putting him in the extra spot.
Okay.
Ooh, LeBlanc's a homer. Yeah, deal with it.
Well, let's do the rest of our list before we do our extra guy.
Sure.
So I got my lefty.
All right. I will look for a lefty then.
If you want me to just say my guy.
Lefty. Chekrin.
I got Jacob Slavin.
Oh, Slavin. Yeah, we'll go Slavin, then Chikrin.
All right, we need to make sure we didn't miss anyone.
We missed John Carlson.
I'm not
I'm not too.
that.
Yeah, I'm not too.
About that. Hang on though. Let me go look at every team's defense. Okay, we got Dobson. We got Fox. We have Werenski. I'm not taking anyone from Philly's defense as much as I would love to. I wouldn't love to. Pittsburgh, I guess like Chris Letang. I don't freaking know.
I mean, we have Carlson as the extra, and I think Carlson's better than Letang.
I don't think at this stage. So Carlson's the extra. Is he a right defenseman?
Yes, he's a right defenseman.
Okay. All right. Let me do a recount here real quick. What does this put us at? So Columbus, we got 2 players. Carolina, we have 3. Rangers, we have 3. We might not hit any maxes here. Washington's 2. Washington's 2. Islanders is also 2. Devils is 4. I don't think we're picking we might pick a goalie from the Devils. Penguins is also 2. All right, so we can pick any goalie here.
All right, we're gonna say our first goalie on 3. Ready?
1, 2, 3. 2, 3.
Shesterkin, yeah.
Okay. All right, Shesterkin starting goalie. I think that's very obvious. I don't think we should try and debate that at all. Backup, though, might be a little bit of a debate, unless if I'm forgetting a goalie here. So what? There's Markstrom, Frederik Andersen.
I think I know who's our backup, but you can.
Oh, Sorokin.
Sorokin, yeah. No, I'm saying that.
Okay, what am I doing? Third string might be a debate. I think you got. I don't know. I feel like
Markstrom.
I feel like you.
Markstrom. I feel like Chekhov, Anderson.
I feel like you got to go Markstrom.
Yeah, I would.
Unless I'm really forgetting a goalie here.
Well, let's do it. Columbus.
I'm not taking Columbus. I'm not taking Thompson from Washington. I'm not taking Merzlikins.
You could take Quick, but
I guess I don't really want to pick 2 goalies from the same team, though.
So I'm gonna. Well, we'll go with Markstrom.
We'll roll with Markstrom. All right. Do we want to make any last changes before I announce our official lineup?
Only, but before we really missed, I'd say from Philly, Couturier. Couturier's not better than any of those guys, and then we have Tippett, but I wouldn't take Tippett. I could maybe take Tippett over Gaudreau, but still,
maybe.
I think we're fine. We're probably missing somebody very important though.
Yeah, I think we're missing. We're missing Zibanejad. That might get us a lot of comments. I think Bo Horvat. I guess. I mean, trying to think who. Marty Natchez, I guess.
Yeah, but you could take Natchez. You could take out Meyer and put Natchez in.
I'm not particularly interested in doing that.
Neither am I. So I'm going to say right now, right now, final answer.
Okay, this is our final answer? Okay, all right. Let's go with our lineup here. So first line of the offense, Artemi Panarin, Sidney Crosby, Seth Jarvis. Second line, Alex Ovechkin, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt. Third line, Timo Meier, Sebastian Aho, Matthew Barzal. Fourth line, Johnny Gaudreau. Why do I have Bratt on here twice?
Did you not give an extra?
Oh, I meant to say Heischer. I don't know why I put Bratt down. Yeah. Fourth line, Gaudreau, Heischer, and Konechny. Our extras, Trocheck. Defensive pairings, Werenski, Fox, Slavin, Dobson, Chikrin, Hamilton, and Erik Karlsson's our extra. And then goalies, Shesterkin, Sorokin, Markstrom. I have a feeling we're going to get cooked in this list. We might have Recliner Sports making comments about us again. That's definitely. He got mad because Suzuki wasn't on our list. And it's a TikToker who got mad that Suzuki wasn't on our list and made a live stream about how Suzuki's better than Stu, which I think was just trying to just gaslight LeBlanc into getting that.
Well, it's better than Nylander, didn't you know?
Yeah, that I think is just stupid.
Yeah,
that I think is crazy. I think Suzuki's probably better defensively than Nylander, but to say that he's better than Nylander overall is like literally insane.
Yeah, like rage
I don't
bait.
know how-
That's got to be rage bait.
Not gonna lie. Yeah. All right. You got anything else?
I got that game for you.
Ooh, that's right.
If I can find it. All right. Since you want to be sneak and go on Twitter all the time,
I literally just went on Twitter and saw your tweet.
I thought I put it close enough to the date where you wouldn't see it. But now that he knows this, I'm gonna tell the audience these are over-unders for next season. I have 6 here because I ran out of time. So,
because he made like a tweet at like 8 p.m. and I'm like, thanks for telling me what the game is. He's like, no phones at work. I'm like, literally not at work. I did work all day, but like,
no, because as soon as you be at work, so like, oh, no phones at work. No.
I'm on my phone all the time.
So these are over unders. I've grabbed some of these from Twitter, and I've grabbed some of these myself.
Alrighty, let's get it going.
Some I found from some sources. There's a lot of some are from Carolina Hurricanes users, some were from New York users. I don't have the names. I didn't write them down. So, but I'll credit you on Twitter.
Okay,
we'll see. All right, Alexis Lafreniere. Over under.
All right.
72 points.
All right, hang on. Let me go look at what he did. Let me look at what he did last year before I make a legitimate answer. I know he had a good 40-point year.
50 point.
Hang on. It's kind of hard to do on the fly. Lafreniere had 57 points this past year. I'm going to say a little bit under.
Right.
I think he could hit 70, but I'm saying a little.
If you want to say that Lafreniere is not on any special team units,
yeah, definitely a little bit under.
So I'm going to say under as well. Jake Gensel, 91 points.
Ooh, he's playing with Kucherov, isn't he?
Yep.
I don't know if he gets 100. Well, 92 is basically almost 100. I'm going to also say, I'm going to say a little bit under or just right. I don't know.
I'm going to go a little bit under.
Okay.
Gensel's playing with Crosby and couldn't put up those numbers.
That's true. That's very true, actually. So I'm going to say under as well, actually.
Hit him with the 4, like Austin Matthews, and lose the game. Right. Austin Matthews, 62 goals.
I think he gets a little over that.
I'm gonna say
unless if he gets hurt, then it's.
I'm gonna say just right. I don't think he's reaching 70 or 69. Nice ever again. Or at least this year.
That's terrific. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna get a little bit over or a little bit under or just right. Honestly, I'm just really repeating what you're saying.
All right.
But I didn't think he gets 69 either. So.
Tim Stützle, 90 points.
What he had he had a down year for his standards.
He had 70 points last year.
I'm gonna say over.
All right, I'll say over as well.
And of course, this is coming from the guy who has a Stu jersey behind him. Would it be?
Travis Konechny.
Oh boy,
80 points.
Oh, I'm gonna say just right.
Okay, I'm gonna say a little under, maybe a 75.
Unless if he gets hurt, because the guy's never had a 70-point season.
But
he has consistently scored 30 goals.
Last but not least, guy we were just talking about, Steph Jarvis.
All right.
75 points.
I think over.
I'll go over. And that's all
I think the team getting worse makes him better.
And that's all I got, unless you have some for me.
I was thinking about the San Jose Sharks over under 25 wins.
I put on the spot right there. My God.
I was thinking about this earlier.
They're still gonna be bad. I'll say under. They're still good.
You think under?
It's gonna be 20s, not high 20s, but not. I'm gonna go.
I think they hit it right on the dot.
I think so.
Their 25th one of the year is going to be against Ottawa.
Oh, lovely.
In their last game of the year.
Maybe we play San Jose twice in the month of November.
Oh,
So what, they're going on some
Well,
miracle run?
one of those 2 wins is going to be against Ottawa. So put it down, bang on the spot, 25. And besides, if they lose, if they're playing the Flyers, they're going to win at least once.
True.
So, think of another one. Elias Pettersson over under 95 points.
I'm gonna go with the hot take under.
Ooh, Matty Beniers over under 65 points.
Just right.
Give me the over. Give me the boom over on that. We are this pretty soon, and I haven't ran this by LeBlanc yet, but we're gonna do a breakout candidate list for both of us. We're gonna do like a top 5 breakout candidates for 24-25. I am putting Beniers. Boom! He is gonna have a crazy year this next season. I hope. I really hope so. That is all I got.
That's all I got. We've been yapping for a long time, so.
We have been yapping for a little bit. I feel like if we keep going even more, they're going to come at us.
Yes.
Anyways, that'll do it for this episode of the Nord and Block Pile LeBlanc. Any final thoughts for this fun hour 20-minute episode?
Not really. Other than I'm the biggest wild card you will ever meet in your life.
My final thoughts are I'm bored.
Yeah.
I want hockey to come back, man. I'm
fiending. Like
I desperately need it. I almost started watching old games from the 2000s today. I almost started. All right, anywho, that'll conclude this episode of the Nord and Block Pod. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe down below on the YouTube end of things. If you're on the audio end of things, be sure to give us a good review. Tell your friends. If you want to follow the Nord and Block Pod on Instagram, follow at Nord Block Pod. We make posts probably, like once every other day. We make a lot of posts on there. We've been gaining some good followers. We're getting close to 100, so we do appreciate the recognition there from the Instagram end of things. But I am Nordic. That's Block. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Adios.
Ciao.